So Apple says that all you need is an iPad to do your work or enjoy reading on, and we're right, so obviously writing on or watching things. I don't know why I did that panto thing for you. Apple would have you think that there's nothing else you need to get an Apple. It's actually telling you the truth. And yet, I mean, that's nice actually, because iPads are a bit expensive on their own, but still there is a universe of accessories that can make writing and working, even reading and watching or listening, there's another one, better. And Apple sells a lot of, well, actually many companies sell as many of them as they can, some of which I think are potentially particularly good for you and me as writers, and quite a lot of which I have myself I want to enthuse you about. And there's also some, well, there's some that I'll just tell you, I'm currently packing them. I'm packing them to take with me on a writing retreat. I'm heading off with just an iPad, yeah, and some of these. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me who use and who write on, well, on Macs, iPhones, and particularly today, iPads. Particularly, actually, iPads with the new iPadOS 26, which is so good that I'm not only writing more than I was on my iPad before, I think I'm also able to have it be the only device that I take away with me on this trip thing I'm going on. I mean, yeah, along with the accessories, of which I would say there are 5 great categories, types, and one extra actually that means nothing to me, but everybody else seems to like. But actually, I tell you what, let me tell you about that one first, get that one out of the way. Well, I say tell you, you may well be a fan already. You could be one of those fans if you already know it. Paperlike. It is possible to get these Paperlike screen protectors, like a film that goes on top of the glass of your iPad. And, well, I presume it helps protect the glass, helps keep it clean, but its purpose is to make writing on the iPad feel more like writing on paper instead of glass. Now, myself, I don't happen to like covering up the glass, even as little as that does. Plus, I think you can get the same effect by actually writing on paper. But I do appear to be in the minority here. If you already use and love Paperlike, well, then you already know. It comes in a pack of 2 for £34 or $45. And if you didn't already know that, well, you do now. Link in the description, but I need to stress I've no experience of Paperlike myself. I can't really either recommend it, or what's the opposite of recommend? You can't do that either, but yeah. Whereas I can recommend 5 categories of iPad accessories, more than recommend. They're ones I would urge you to get, most of them, starting with keyboards. Which sounds so simple, we're writers, keyboards actually may sound unnecessary, actually, because if you have an iPad, well, you have an on-screen keyboard, and not only can you write on it, last weekend, for example, I ran a young writer's workshop and all the notes are on the iPad. I wrote on it as well. I wrote 1,000 words, typing directly onto the glass. But if you can get any physical keyboard, it is better. The typing's faster, the feel is more enjoyable. You're likely to make fewer typing mistakes as you go, meaning less time editing later. And I think, you'll feel that you think less about the keyboard, more about what you're writing. And there are broadly 2 types of keyboard for the iPad, and actually the easiest to explain is the external one. There are like 11 billion keyboards in the world, but I recommend just a couple of them, starting with this. In fact, let's keep it to just this. Let's be simple. The Logitech MX Keys Mini. It officially costs £110 or about $100, but it seems to be forever on sale for less, and sometimes a lot less. This is the graphite coloured version, but there's also a pale grey one and a pink one to really stand out. Make sure you never lose it. What I like is the feel of typing on it. That's all I ever really look for in a keyboard. But there's also a practical extra in that, as with I think most Logitech keyboards, if not all of them now, there are 3 Bluetooth buttons at the top, and you could use this one to pair this keyboard to your iPad, and then maybe the second one to pair it to your Mac, the third to pair it to your iPhone. So just tap them on and be writing on it. In fact, because of that, this keyboard or other ones like it could be your sole keyboard for everywhere. You could carry around anywhere for your Mac. Actually, for a desktop Mac, I would rather have a slightly bigger keyboard. This one is called Mini because I think the keys are fractionally closer, fractionally smaller than they are on a full-size desktop keyboard, and it doesn't have the extended, hang on, doesn't have one of these, doesn't have that numeric keypad. That's the phrase I was looking for. But this is actually the one I'm taking with me, and I'm also taking this, actually, the new Logitech MX Master 4 mouse. It's really good on the Mac, but you compare it to the iPad instead. You don't get as many functions, so it's really more just like a basic mouse on the iPad, but it's a mouse. Logitech MX Master 4, that's the name. Costs, it's brand new, so it costs $120, or so around £90 in the UK. And you can get cheaper, you can get much cheaper, and actually if you were solely getting a mouse for your iPad, you probably should get it cheaper. But since I have it for the Mac, and well, actually I'll just tell you because I'm reviewing it for the Mac, it's clearly worth it to me to pair it with the iPad on this trip instead. I say clearly, but it's also going to be a bit peculiar. Bringing a mouse with me on an iPad, bringing a keyboard with me on an iPad, because my iPad already has the Apple Magic Keyboard, which comes with the trackpad. Yeah, right, this is the next category. It's keyboards blurred into cases. Apple Magic keyboards, right, are these cantilevered things which are superb for holding the iPad at all sorts of angles as you work, and they include this truly excellent keyboard, and they also cost the earth. And you have to get the right Magic Keyboard for your specific iPad. And actually, out of that, they're only available for the iPad Pro and the iPad Air, but I mean, even then, you still have to get the right version for the right one because they've been changed over the years and they don't quite fit. There's a compatibility section on Apple's listings for the Magic Keyboards and websites, and you've got to check it. I'm not kidding though that the keyboards in here are superb. They're also better than they were. This is from 2021, and the newer ones have better designed keys. They have more keys, and the typing feel is even nicer. I have been trying them out enviously. Actually, especially enviously on the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. As it happens, I'm less keen on the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Air, because to me the feel it feels cheaper. It doesn't feel as good. Inevitably, though, because of the size of the iPad and these things to do, the Magic Keyboards are a little cramped compared to full size or even those mini ones. And that's why for this trip that I'm going on, I am bringing the external keyboard as well as the case. Whoops, if it survives. Because of the keyboard, I'll be typing a little further bit back from the iPad, over there, that's why I'm bringing the mouse, so rather than reaching over. But this is unusual. This is the first time I've done it. I spent 4 years writing on just that Magic Keyboard. Although actually, I'm disappointed. I should show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm a little disappointed that some of the edges, just where you open it, are now frayed. And so every time I pick it up, I'm reminded that it's frayed. I'm kind of conscious of it. But I'm also conscious, though, as with every Apple Magic Keyboard for any keyboard, any iPad, this is brilliant for protecting the front and the back of the device, but there's nothing for the edges. If I put this in here, you'll see it. Absolutely nothing on the sides or the corners, and if you drop an iPad on the corner, it is likely to break. Which is why I have actually been spending some time looking at a similar product, again from Logitech. Like the Magic Keyboard, this one have been looking at, is a case that includes a built-in keyboard. But unlike Apple's one, I've got to get this name right, the Logitech Combo Touch keyboard case tucks around the edges and the corners of the iPad to protect it. The Logitech Combo thingy is also cheaper. Apple's Magic Keyboards currently start at £269 or dollars for the 11-inch iPad Air, and they go up to £349 or dollars for the 13-inch iPad Pro. Plus, as I say, Apple's Magic Keyboards are only for the iPad Air and the iPad Pro, whereas Logitech makes these combo case things, I'm struggling with the name, sorry, for most types of iPad. With Logitech, expect to pay about £130 or dollars for one for the regular iPad, going up to about 230 so for the Air or the Pro and the different sizes. Prices vary a lot, actually, and there are always sales at the moment. Only, just as you may have started to think that this is the Logitech show, I mean the keyboard, the mouse, the case, I'm going to slightly ruin that. I do like that the combo thingy protects the iPad. I like that a lot. I can be okay with how it lacks the Magic Keyboard's, great cantilever design, and instead it has a kickstand that comes out the back, because that's fine on a desk. It's not so great on your lap, and I'm going to be on a train for a while. It's okay. The thing is, I don't happen to like the feel of typing on the combo thingy. So it's cheaper, it's better with protection, but I don't like typing on it. I was going to say your mileage may vary. Your mileage will vary. We're all different in what we like typing on, but I am really glad that an Apple store let me try one out before buying anything. And if you can possibly do that as well, try it too. I mean, I suppose you could just order one and then return it. I'm never very keen on that. It feels so ungreen. I did actually just say that was another category, the kind of keyboard stroke case kind of blurred together. But there are just, cases. I don't have a lot of experience with these because it was always the keyboard that I cared about first, and in the cases, the ones I bought, the cases came with the keyboard. Keyboard came with the case. But let me suggest two types from the very, very wide range of iPad accessory cases. Apple, for example, makes that one over there, the Smart Folio, which is really clever. Actually, it magnetically snaps onto the front of your iPad, and as you peel it back to open it, it tells the iPad to wake up, and then when you close it again, it tells the iPad to go to sleep. This is the modern version of is the fridge light on or not? Passes the time. They're actually, Smart Folio is really satisfying to use, and they handily fold up behind the iPad, but Apple smartphones are solely for protecting the glass on the front of the iPad. They do nothing at all for the back, nor the sides, nor the corners and things. Solely the glass on the front. If you want to go the other way, though, and dramatically protect your iPad, I mean, practically the point of not being able to use it, then there is the Otterbox Defender series. So many options here for so many different types of iPad, but really it just closets in strong. As ever, you have to get the right one for your iPad, and as ever, that also means that if you ever change your iPads for any reason, you upgrade anything, your old case or your Smart Folio, whatever it is, will not fit. Apple sells its Smart Folios in many different colours, starting at around £80 or dollars. Otterbox Defenders, they have a much broader range of prices, but you figure on them costing you about the same, actually, about £80 or $80. Apple's Magic Keyboards, right, Logitech's Combo thingy and the Otterbox Defenders, they all come with a way to prop up your iPad when you want to write on them properly, when you want to watch things, so the cantilever thing holds it like that. There's a kickstand and the others. With that Logitech and those Otterbox Defenders, right, the iPad, well, it's propped up by this kickstand kind of thing, which is quite handy for watching at an angle. It comes out the back of the case, right, but you can buy entirely separate stands, such as this. Oh, well, you can see that. This is see the description. It cost me £48 in the UK, I can't pronounce it, $60 in the US. Yeah, floor standing thing. I'm not taking this with me on the trip, but standing here behind my desk, it's proving very handy for holding my iPad up at eye level while I'm doing certain work, and also actually for filming straight down when needed. You don't, though, let me put that away because it's very distracting. You don't need a floor standing stand. I can't stand how many times. Yeah, you don't need one on the floor. You can have one that stands on your desk. And this is actually something else I don't have experience of, but at various times, Apple pushes particularly the 12 South HoverBar Duo, which costs around £80 or dollars. I got to say, I like what I've used of 12 South's products, but haven't used the stands. I would actually, I would have liked a magnetic stand so that I could just, snatch the iPad off when I need to rush out, because, urgently I've got to rush out. Yeah, well, because I'm late. There are such stands, actually, but they cost in the many, many hundreds of pounds and dollars. So, no. I did say that there were I believe there are 5 categories of iPad accessories. I think there's another one to come, but this is the last one that I would say is actually mandatory, really. Batteries and power chargers. I mean, an iPad, it's going to last a long time on charge, but it is going to run out, and you will need to top it back up using, start with a charger. I use one of these 2 when I'm somewhere that I can plug in something. Both a Ugreen, this one actually has a handy foldable plug arrangement, so that's actually the one I'll be bringing with me on my trip, but this one, permanent plugs, is faster. I don't usually care about fast charging because most of the time I'm doing it overnight, and what do I care? I'm not even going to notice if it's 10 minutes faster or something. But I have been on, there was a particular thing I had to do where it was incredibly handy to be able to rapidly charge up, well, actually there are 3 slots there, my iPad, my iPhone and my MacBook in one go. That was a huge boon. But that's a mains charger, and I'm also bringing a battery for when I'm outside, when there aren't enough plugs around, when I'm writing in a cafe. This is the one I'm bringing, and I like it very much, but it's not the one I'm recommending. This is the Ugreen Nexode Power Bank, and right after I bought it, the company released an updated model, the Ugreen Nexode Power Bank Retractable. Somewhere around the top it comes with a built-in USB-C cable, so you're never stuck with, an iPad, a battery and nothing to connect them. There's nothing in that case, but you get the idea. The retractable version retails for £80 or $100, but like everything else, they seems to be forever on sale. On the downside, it and this one, they're big, they're heavy, but I think that also means I'm never going to forget it. I'm actually just conscious, no more than with Logitech. I just said a lot about Ugreen stuff. Everything I've just mentioned, the plugs, and they're from Ugreen. I should say previously, I've bought mostly Anker batteries, ANKER batteries. And whenever I next one, it will be Anker and Ugreen that I look at first. Last accessory or type of accessory, and it isn't necessary, but if it helps you, it tends to help a lot. The Apple Pencil, or the Logitech Crayon. They're styluses, styli, and as well as why am I doing that? Drawing or handwriting, you can move around the iPad with one. You can edit audio, edit video with a stroke. I would never have thought to buy one, but since I happen to have got an Apple Pencil, I like it a lot. So much so that I am looking to buy a new bigger iPad. If I do that, I will buy the Apple Pencil that goes with it, because yet again, you have to have the right pencil for the right iPad. There are currently 4 types of Apple Pencil, ranging from £80 or dollars and going up to $130. They have different features. They charge in slightly different ways, some of them. But most importantly of all, they only work with specific iPads. So yet again, I would get this from Apple's website, because you can look very closely there at the compatibility section, and you need to pay attention to it. Alternatively, buy the Logitech Crayon, which doesn't do as much as an Apple Pencil, but also doesn't cost as much, and it's compatible with, well, seemingly just about any iPad since 2018. Can't ever be easy though. There are 2 versions of the Crayon. One is charged by USB-C cable, one by the older Lightning cable. So again, choose carefully, but at least there's only 2 options there. Logitech Crayon costs $70 in the US for either version. In the UK, at time of recording anyway, the USB-C model is £80 and the Lightning one is £70. I prefer the feel of the Apple Pencil in my hands, especially because I'm just thinking and twiddling. But since I can't draw and I cannot read my handwriting, this iPad accessory, for me, it's more of a luxury than anything else. Actually, you don't require any of these accessories except maybe the battery. Go with the battery. The iPad is genuinely useful. I mean, incredibly so, without any accessories at all. But those accessories that help you really help you. Listen, I'm going to put that down before I keep fiddling. That's it for this edition of 58 Keys. While I go pack all of this back into my suitcase, you take care of yourself, write more, and I'll see you soon.